Alright guys, hello and welcome back. It's time for the quarterfinal matchup between the Night's Watch and the Bronkos. This one, Hindu, is going to be an important one.
Yo, this is huge. These guys are even on points, right? They start in currently joint 3rd to 5th seed because Aces Club also have 120 points. Now, the winner of this game is going to have a points advantage. Remember, the top 4 are the ones that are guaranteed a chance to compete for the spot into the Pro League. The top 6, there's the 5th and 6th seed, could potentially get there if there's no invites that are offered to teams from hi-rez. So getting yourself the top 4 spot is important, and this will secure them a top 4 spot if they win this game for both teams. So it's very important for both the Bronkos and the Night's Watch. Huge game. Huge game.
Will this secure it overall? Because there's one more week of play after this.
There is one more week overall. It's not going to secure it 100%. We'll have to see how this goes.
It'll be a nice step to securing it.
It would be a big step, and he puts them above it, which means they just have to go ahead of the enemy team. So picks and bans coming through, as we can see. Night's Watch banned away Thor and Circuit. Jungle focus once again. Poseidon and Sylvanas taken away by the Bronkos, and instantly Zenda locked in Bellona. Or Bellona.
Yeah. Over in that soul lane, potentially over in that jungle as well. It's going to be a very nice pickup for these guys. Hopefully it's not going to be a little bit of a blunder. Locking Poseidon out is a pretty big deal as well. Taking that away from the mid lane, he's a pretty powerful burst god, pretty safe in lane as well. But is it worth banning that Poseidon of Bellona? Maybe, but we'll have to find out. That was a wise decision once we actually get into the game.
I mean, this week as well, I mean, the one thing to note, the Bronkos did get themselves to the final last week, and if they can do it again, they're going to accelerate their points. So this is a big game, just because the Bronkos are looking very strong right now. Jermaine in the AD carry role. Taliesin got MVP last week for his performance in the support role, and the rest of the boys did a fantastic job too. Bastet Athena locked in, and it's back over to the boys of the Night's Watch. And now their watch has ended. We'll see if it ends this game. Currently, they've locked in Xbalanque and Ymir.
Talieson's Ymir last week was actually pretty brilliant. He was playing sort of a very aggressive, reminded me a lot of watching Flurry Q from Spicy Waffles play. Just roam around, look for these big aggressive early game plays. Early on, because of his Frostbite passive, Ymir can do a surprisingly large amount of damage given that he's a support. You don't really expect it. Hits him with a Frost Breath, hit him once or twice with an attack while they're frozen in place, follow up with a Glacial Strike. That's a lot of damage, and you're probably going to have an ally nearby helping you kill that guy as well.
So, across the way, we can see they've locked in the Bronkos Rama for their Hunter pickup here. Rama pretty safe, honestly. He has a good matchup against most of the Hunters that are played at the moment. Pretty much goes 50-50 against most and has a hyper carry status because of his abilities in the late stages of the game. Has to get there first, though, and counterbans have begun.
Yeah, Agni taken off the table. So 2 bans already just focused solely at Carinio on the side of Night's Watch. They're worried about him for sure.
Yeah, I feel like Giannis possibly been mixed up at Carinio. He's not scared to play that if he wants to. What else is really available in mid? I mean, Isis is available.
Just banned out Giannis themselves, so.
Oh. And the Broncos in response pick up Isis. So, limitations in mid lane now. Isis, her real bad matchup there is going to be against an Agni. It's going to be interesting to see what Carinio picks for here. Will he go safe with something like Ra? Or will he look elsewhere? Scylla? Yeah, Scylla's still available late game. Hyper carry to the late stages, but then they've already got Xbalanque there as well. They could look for the hyper carry and then rely on Bellona, Ymir, and Hercules for the mid-early game.
Yeah, they're hovering over Scylla and Hercules right now. Hercules and Ymir both provide fairly decent setup for Scylla's I'm a Monster later on. Without any sort of setup, Scylla's ultimate, it's a lot of damage, but it's very difficult to land. It's very telegraphed. It's kind of slow to actually fire it. It's easy to kind of walk out of the small area of effect. But with that lockdown initially, getting that first hit, and especially if you get a kill and are able to use it multiple times, it can be so much damage. Scylla will be locked in, so if they can make that combo work, people on the Bronkos are going to be exploding. Ram, Isis, Bastet, all very, very squishy gods. They're not really going to be building much in the way of protections, so that could be kind of risky. They're going for Bakasura. Bakasura has a pretty good lane matchup against Hercules, but again, he's another very squishy god. If he gets hit by the I'm a Monster, it's pretty much going to be forced out of the fight if not outright dead later on.
I mean, Bakasura is very, very strong in the lane phase, like you said, and he can really turn fights around in the late stages of the game too. Can have a few issues up against Bellona as well because of Scourge, because obviously he can't use those auto attacks if he's disarmed. So there's a chance there for Zinda on that Bellona to cause some issues for them. The early game from the Bronkos is very, very strong here. I love the Bronkos early game. They've got aggression all over the map in terms of being able to get picks early on. Ice is very strong in the early stage. He's going to have wave clear over Scylla. Athena with that global ultimate. Bastet has better gank potential overall than that Zindan jungle and Bellona, in my opinion. We'll see how this one plays out, though, because it looks like it's going to be the Bronkos early game. Mid game, it should still just about favor the Bronkos, but late game is definitely on the side of the Night's Watch.
Indeed. So we'll have to see how that one plays out, guys. We're going to cut to a quick little break while the anti-ghost timer finishes ticking down. We'll be back here in just a minute with Night's Watch facing off against the Bronkos in the quarterfinals. Alright, guys. Hello and welcome back. Sorry for that little bit of a delay. It's going to be Night's Watch facing off against the Bronkos in this quarterfinal matchup.
Okay, this is going to be a hype level 1. I guarantee you this will be hype level 1. Heavy hammer on Bakasura, heavy hammer on Bellona. They're both going to want to fight. Bastet and Bakasura, very strong level 1 invade composition, and they're going to have a fight in mid lane straight away. So they're going to get a good slam off and slow it to multiple targets. Bellona gets knocked low. They don't find a follow up yet, but there's an Earthbreaker.
Teddleson Frost Breath on middle of Predator Strike. He's not going anywhere. First blood going over to Carino. They saw each other immediately, and Night's Watch said, you know what, we want this early game fight because we have the advantage. Ymir, Hercules, absolutely devastating. Never mind the heavy hammer and damage coming out from Scylla as well. They played that nicely once they got that fight going.
There's two things that are really interesting about that play, right? The Bronkos have telegraphed this play multiple times. Teddleson comes down mid lane, he wards the right-hand side, he wards the left-hand side at the beginning of the game. They've done that in multiple games, and that's Night's Watch abusing the fact they know what their opposition's going to do. They grouped on the left and waited for them to start rotating, picked them up, and took the fight when they could. So a really good decision from Night's Watch. That's just realizing that they're actually watching their opponents and working out what their plan is going to be. No invade coming after that. They already got first blood, and the best news is it went on to Scylla as well. The only way that could have been better is if it went on to Mox's Xbalanque.
I believe that means she's actually going to approach lane at level 2, which does mean potentially if Yballuk is not very careful, is going to get caught by a Sikkim Crush combo potentially. So actually, what is Scylla going to put the point?
It won't kill her.
For that. Won't kill her, but could punish her a little bit.
But it can punish her a little bit, but then at the same time, it's going to help her wave clear a little bit stronger than she would have been able to do. It's still going to be a weak lane for her. She's still going to be negative for the most part, but she will hit level 5 earlier as well, which Bellona has to respect in these early stages.
It's a little back and forth on the left lane right now. The pushing power from the Bronkos a little bit better. Xbalanque has some issues early on with that, whereas Ram can still put those arrows through the entire minion wave whenever he so pleases. So a little bit better wave clear over there in the soul lane. Early rotation coming out from Reveal, as Zinder's going to hang around for an extra wave of minions.
Well, while we're waiting for the extra aggro in this game to go, I was talking about extra aggro. Earthbreaker driving strike on the right hand side does hit onto Flexi. Pops a half health, he'll pop a health potion and survive for now. I was just about to commentate on what's happened in the lower half of the bracket. Aces Club, the 3rd seeded team, has actually gone down to Team Bizarre, ranked 14th. Team Bizarre actually eliminating the Spanish Giants this time round. That could open things up at the top of the bracket once more and give teams a chance for survival still in week 7. At the moment, we're back and focusing on this one.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be rough for the brackets. Over in the right lane right now, Bakasura using 8 minutes to staying up in the lane, and Q finding a nice driving strike into the wall. Flexi able to use that takedown to leap straight on back out, however. Second health potion has been popped. That's the last one he had sitting in reserves. So, a little bit rough.
A little bit rough, but at the moment, everything's still okay for both teams. Still, Night's Watch have this small advantage just based off the start. It's not a huge golden experience lead, but it's something they could look to capitalize on these mid-harpies, especially with the faster level 5s being reached by the boys there. You can see Carino is about to ding 5 already at 2 minutes in the game. Left-hand side, though, Ymir going aggressive with Mox once again. Teddleson has to disengage from that one, as you can see the mid laners rotate back for harpies.
Yeah, with those getting picked up, we're about 45 seconds off those mid-harpies spawning for the first time this matchup. There's going to be some ultimates online. Carino should definitely have the Ymir monster available for that fight. Bellona isn't too far behind, should likely have the circuit protection as well, so they could look for a fight this early on. I mentioned both these teams is an important game. They might just look to respect each other, just trade one camp for one camp, not look to give either, give each other a potential advantage if they win that fight.
Big rotation left-hand side from the Bronkos, but they're stepping on a ward, unfortunately, and immediately Night's Watch recognize that, back away from a potential pick there. Harpies spawning in 15 seconds. It doesn't look like we're going to see Wolf of Elo Street manage to rotate for these. He's going to stay in lane with Mox here, and this is going to just be an even trade at these mid-Harpies now, I suspect.
Yeah, not going to look for the big fight. A little around that Spirit Ball. Not going to find damage on the camp, but they're quickly taken down nevertheless. Right side going over to Zinder and picking those up. It's all back to laning, but Carino right now has to be careful because of the nice little 3-man grouping up against the 2 members of Night's Watch. If Athena potentially found a nice taunt, they have some decent burst damage coming out. That said, Carino has the escape with Sentinel. It really just comes down to Zyndern, who would be forced to use the Eagle's Rally to escape if he would happen to get caught.
Well, everyone's just looking for positioning here. Most of the jungle's down for both of them at the moment. There's no reason to really go aggressive. Everyone's just going to return to farm. You can see the 3-man grouping in mid lane from the Bronkos. And it's a 2-man grouping from Night's Watch. The problem with this is that Moex isn't getting as much farm as Jermaine is over here. He's going to lose a little bit of gold because he's sharing. He's also going to lose a little bit of experience because he's sharing with Wolf of Elo Street. Wolf of Elo Street's putting the Hunter behind a little bit, but he's getting his mid laner and his jungler ahead by not sticking with them as much.
Moex is actually slightly ahead. Just been doing a better job farming overall.
I don't know how that's possible. Maybe they could have potentially denied him actually a little bit in lane, I guess.
That first kill assist as well.
That's true. Yeah, the first kill assist would have helped as well with that. But the moment you can see now Jermaine is level 6. You're wrong. You're wrong. Don't talk to me. Look at that. See?
That's
see?
a full wave of minions ahead. He's
gonna yeah. I know. I just look right. I look right for a minute, okay? It's people for spawn for the Bronkos. People are about to spawn for Night's Watch as well. Looks like Reaver wants to try and contest this, but we'll see if he can actually steal this with a pounce combo. It could be risky.
He could look for it. He's going to go over the wall just in the right time. That one will be stolen away from Zyndern. He's probably not too thrilled about that one. He's going to pick up some back harpies, like, whatever. Go kill these birds.
Oh, burst on the right hand side has been popped by Flexi there. Regurgitate did come out, but NQ quickly just disengages with a driving strike after the cripple pool has gone on cooldown. They're not going to find anything else. Blue buff is being invaded by Revel here. Zyndern is here. We're going to see a fight over here.
Darkest Knight's coming out from across the map, looking for the assist. Able to stop in place for just a moment to stop the stun from that, but Scylla is nearby. They're not going to be able to lock anybody down. Revel was able to kind of sneak his way just far enough from any possible ensuing danger, but they're not done over here. Declaw applied to Zyndern. They could look for a little more, perhaps, as otherwise a little bit of a standoff. They're looking to just farm some minions for the moment. Unless, nice driving strike.
They are. That was a really good driving strike, and the boulder hits too, forcing Revel away. The burst from Zyndern with the bludgeon onto Flex is good, but there's the catch drop. Zyndern has to Eagles rally away. NQ gonna tank those ones up. Disengage from both sides there. I love that play from NQ. It looked like he was gonna driving strike minions and turn his back and smash the Bakasura into the wall.
Those lovely little 180 no-scope driving strikes, not very nice to be on the receiving end of. Driving strike in general, not nice to be on the receiving end of. So pretty much a bit of a stagnant game right now. Not much going on. These teams do not want to overaggress. They're looking for these opportunities to find a nice pick in their favor. These teams both now, like we've talked about a couple times already, this game is very important for both these guys. They do not want these fights to go badly. I'm expecting, unless one of these teams say, no, we're just going to outright force a Gold Fury fight, rather. They're going to look for a pick, and if they're pretty much not going to flat out catch somebody out, they're just going to poke a little bit and otherwise just fully disengage.
Mid harpies are spawning.
Regurgitate popped right lane, driving strike into the wall. NQ will go down tower, not going to find that kill in response. So first time we saw that attempt coming out from Flex, he didn't end too well, but number 2 seems to have gone in his favor, picking up that kill.
Tellison contest the left on harpies here. He's not actually going to be able to get caught though, as he will disengage in time, but that experienced lead as they got both harpies did the Bronkos there. Puts them in a good position right now. The Bronkos have fought back after that first blood, and now they're starting to pressure mid lane once again. And like we said, the Bronkos do have the early game. They do have the early game.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, so much big burst coming out. The circle protection, any little fight that breaks out early. It's kind of an area, it's like, well, you can either come in here and fight us, or, well, just not, because, well, you're going to take damage, you're going to give us healing, and it's not going to end well. Bastet is known for her early game fighting. Bakasura gets online fairly early as well. Butcher Blades is such a powerful ability steroid early on, plus a little bit of passive physical. Frostblood on the back of the lane mid lane will not connect. Zyndern looking to control, no stun either. I'm a monster will work, however, on that Darkest Night stun. Not the setup you expected, but hey, a setup is a setup.
Yeah, it was relying on the teammates there more than anything else on that one. And Q's actually trading again with Flexi here, but backs away after clearing the wave. That was a good pickup by Night's Watch, though. They used a lot of CC to confirm it, but Carino relied on his teammates and counted on them and popped that Iron Monster early. But Tellison going aggressive on Zyndern. The Spirit Ball comes out and connects. Circle of Protection does a little bit of damage, but not enough to confirm with the Wind Gusts. And Zyndern survives for now.
I think the Circle Protection actually missed on that.
I did. Yeah, I agree.
If it hit, I think that would have been the kill.
Potentially, yeah, you are right. I mean, it was close, but close is not the correct thing as a confirmed kill. Check out the Hunters, though. Continue to farm away. A little bit of a stack advantage for Jermaine here, though. 40 stacks to the 28. Well, it should be 31 after these 3 minions go down. So, Rama doing a very good job for himself up against his Xbalanque so far in this lane.
Yeah, they have a small lead right now. Possibly thinking of maybe forcing a Gold Fury fight here right now. They're a little bit behind as far as kills are concerned, but golden experience-wise, things are pretty much even. They're going to go ahead and disperse off that one. You know, no one took the bait. No one came over to see what was going on, so no little pick came out of that one. Gold Fury at this point, with everyone still up, would be a little risky. So, I don't actually see them going for it. They were just basically looking to bait somebody out and catch somebody over by the Gold Fury pit.
So the good news for Night's Watch here is they are down on experience and gold, only by a little bit though, and like we said, mid-early, they're going to be behind, or they should be, as the Bronkos have a stronger composition for that stage, but late game, it's about hanging on and not falling too far behind and get to that late stage standpoint for the Night's Watch, really. And for the time being, they're doing a good job of surviving. Speedbuff's been started this time by Zindern, and this time we're not going to see an invasion coming out from Bastet. Instead, they're going for gold, which I love the call of.
They are aware this is coming on. Wolf Wizard, Frostbreath on 2, the air, Xbalanque arrives, as well as Carino. Night's Watch will steal away the Gold Fury. Teddleson getting low. I'm a Monster, not going to find that kill. Moex looking to chase it down. Rising Jaguar not going to be able to get him back into range, but big play coming up from Night's Watch, turning around. Eagles Rally does catch Blink with the stun. Crush over the wall, plus a heavy hammer smash to the top of the skull. Does mean Zinder's going to pick up a kill on the back of that one as well. Big play coming out from Night's Watch. The Broncos' little play on that Gold Fury did not go as they planned.
Wolf of Elo Street made a big play then. That was a fantastic use of the abilities with Ymir. Blinks in, uses freeze, realizing that he can still secure this one. He uses his ultimate to make sure he gets immunity from being CC'd out. Blows at exactly the right time, instantly hogs straight after, confirms it for the Night's Watch, and the follow-up from them was fantastic too, to clean up an extra kill. Harpies on both sides look like they might go to the Night's Watch as well. Taddleston's here, but he's not going to be there in time.
Yep, it looks like Night's Watch actually able to secure those. Not entirely sure. It's a little difficult to tell sometimes. Right lane, while that was all going on as well, Flexi was looking for another kill into NQ. NQ did get back to his tower safely, used the Excavate to clear out the Regurgitate minions, plus the wave of minions for going back to base himself. He did also pick up Teleport, which does mean later on in the game, he will have the luxury of kind of just joining teamfights from that solo lane. The one little issue is he also has Hand of the Gods, so if they end up needing another active later on, he's not going to have that option. And if they decide they need a Weakening Curse to possibly deal with the Circle Protection healing plus life stealing, perhaps, it really just comes down to sticking on Bellona, which that may not necessarily be the active they want to stick on her at this point.
Well, Mox was trying to do his purple buff there, but Jermaine just denied him from doing that. Wolf of Elo Street's going to rotate over to this lane now, and it'll all go back to farming over here for the time being. 3-1 in favour of Night's Watch with the Gold Fury. They've got a small lead at the moment, which is fantastic for them at this stage of the game, but the Broncos are not out of this yet.
No, without a doubt. Some items are starting to come online for these guys. Itemization, which is completed for Flexi, which does mean he's going to be stealing away some actual little bit of physical power from Hercules. And
Dynasty Plate Helm on Scylla. I've not seen that picked up so early. We don't see it very much in competitive play either. Gives you magic, physical protection, some penetration as well, which is important, as well as some magical power. It's a cost-efficient item. It's a cheap item, but normally there's better things in slot that you can be picking up. It looks like we can see from Carino here, he wants the penetration more than anything else earlier on. Yeah. He's gone for cooldown boots as well, and he wants the physical protection to deal with the Bastet, with the Bakasura that he's going to have issues with. 3 physicals on the team, they're going to deal a lot of damage to him.
The physical protection is actually going to help quite a bit as well. The less protections you have, the more each individual point is worth. So that means when Bastet pops over, if Bakasura pops over the wall, something like that, that little bit of extra physical protection is going to give Scylla that just a moment extra time to get away. She has a Sentinel, which is a great escape in itself, but sometimes that may not be available. You might want to stick around for a second, try and find a kill. So it gives her a little bit more options, as well as, like you said, it's a nice, cheap, cost-effective item, so it's a pretty nice pickup, although it's unusual.
It is, but he's not got stacking, and that's going to be a concern that I'm looking at. Will he go for a stacking item next, or will he just go for a full power penetration build of like Rod of Tahuti, get an Obsidian Shard maybe as well, and just look for a full pen sort of situation for himself to make sure he picks up in damage? And that's one thing that Scylla definitely has a lot of internally, is just damage, but she's going to lack a little bit with that Dynasty Plate Helm. We'll see where the rest of Carino's build goes here and see how it works out for him. Right side, the trade's going on once again, and NQ's losing this.
Yeah, Darkest Night's coming out. Mitigate Wounds finally getting popped. Going to be a little bit of healing, but without that extra damage coming in, it's only the base value of the Mitigate Wounds, so not all that much. As they look to disengage, Darkest Nights was spent, just trying to make sure possibly that the fight wasn't committed to. Mid lane, Harpies are about to spawn, but it looks like they're just going to go ahead and trade these 1 for 1. No contest.
They are, but right inside once again, it looks like Bakasura's going to find a kill, and NQ is under the tower. NQ's in a lot of trouble. He will go down in the leap away with takedown from Flexi. Secures the kill and secures his disengage. Left Harpies did go to Night's Watch. Right ones just spawned.
And right now, the Bronkos not really in a spot to go for this. Zindern actually looking to go aggressively in front and kill. Instead, Crush connects for damage. Scourge applied as well. Circle Protection drop down, but not going to save him from Zindern. He does find the kill. Here comes Athena. Carino using that Alma Monster to avoid the slow coming in. Damage not going to connect. Rebel able to sneak around behind that one. Eagles rally, plus a little extra from Scylla. Enough to find the second kill of this fight. Night's Watch pick up both Harpy Camps plus another pair of kills. Flex is going to answer with a tower, but overall, across the map, Night's Watch gained the gold on experience on that one.
They do. I mean, Flexi did a good job of pushing down that tower there, realizing the opportunity. He could have potentially rotated to that fight, but he had no ultimate available. Just used it on NQ on that Hercules, so decided to take that tower, opens himself up for more rotations here, if he so wishes to, and he's got a good dominant lane there for the time being. Nice Watch, though, did a fantastic performance of those mid-Harpies there. I like the decision to go aggressive instead of just contest the Harpies. They look for the kill, and it was a good opportunity to do that, as Athena wasn't even in the engagement yet, and didn't manage to rotate in time to save the day.
Bakasura right now, that was going to be doing even more damage. He just picked up the charge bow. Once that Odysseus bow is built up, the attack speed on Bakasura, hitting with that extra true damage from Butcher Blades, gets absurd. When you use Regurgitate, you get that nice cone of attack in front of you. You're doing AoE damage, and then you're also spreading that chain lightning all over the place. It gets very nasty, and Bakasura does a surprisingly disgusting amount of AoE damage once he gets that golden Odysseus bow built up completely.
Well, talking about Carino in this mid lane as well, he's now working towards Warlock Sash by the looks of it, so he will go for a stacking item, which is kind of standard to see on a mage. He wants a stacking item for the extra damage. This one will also give him some sustain with the health it will give them. They're looking for the Gold Fury here, though, and here comes Saddleston looking for the engage.
He has Gold Fury, has reset, the fight is on right now. Exo coming, Carino with the setup again,
Big
double
monster.
kill with the Alma Monster, getting the second hit as well. Beluka now realizing, Wing Gust, I don't get that backpedal penalty, so I can do a little damage. Good stun off that Spirit Ball. Carino looking for that trade. That was pretty much even on that one. It's Night's Watch again going for the Gold Fury.
They are Revels here, going to try and get some burst time with the bleed that hits all the targets there. Has to pounce away from the Frost Breath and use bees. Drops Cats to cause a few issues, but the Gold Fury goes to the Night's Watch, and they do manage to disengage. Meanwhile, though, Flexi is going to get a tier 2. No, he's not. Teleporting from NQ. Saves the day.
At the tower, though, Flexi is going to be looking for that one. If Hercules is forced out of lane for any reason in the near future, Flexi will have the option of just throwing those Regurgitate minions to tank the tower for himself. Looking for the steal on the mana buff. I believe he ended up stealing that one away and picking it up for himself in the middle of that little engagement. The fight is on right now. Rebel taking a bit of damage. Athena about to join the party, though. Flexi finds the first kill on Carino, looking for the second on Zender, and finds that going for reveal. As now NQ in a bad spot. They're looking for the body blocks. Didn't find a driving strike away, but there's a takedown, the chase. That's going to be a third kill as well.
Oh, just out of range, but Wolf of Velo Street does answer back to Flexi. However, Flexi's going to be an issue for the boys of the Night's Watch here now. He is the big carry that they need on the Bronkos here, and he's stepping up. At the main moment, though, the Hunters relatively even in terms of experience and gold. The gold lead just ever so slightly in favour of Moex just because of the Gold Fury that they got. This was a good answer back from the Bronkos here. They might be able to get mid camps and some tower pressure in mid too here.
Yeah, that was a pretty big play by the Bronkos. They got some very much needed kills, getting some golden experience they so badly needed. Spirit Ball coming in, Shards of Ice, only going to find a little bit of damage. He did have to pop that early, that particular instance, just to make sure he got the damage before Revel was able to pounce on away to safety. Tier 1 tower will fall. The gold lead is slowly starting to go back towards even, pulling up the graph. Things have, that Gold Fury spiked it up towards Night's Watch, but the Bronkos are looking to kind of counter that and put it back going towards even.
8-5 right now, 16.5 minutes into this game. Only a 2,000 experience lead and 2,000 gold lead, so it's still anyone's game this at the moment. When we look to the late game though, like we said, Nice Watch, they do have this Scylla's Carino, which is 4-1-3 right now. Has that Warlock Sash finished as well, and they have Xbalanque, who's 0-0-4, hasn't died in lane, hasn't really been involved in too much in fairness. He's just popped a couple of Darkest of Nights to cause a few issues for them. And they've also got that Bellona and Hercules that will be harder to kill as he continues building on this tanky defensive items. Across the way though, Bronkos, they do have Bakasura, who's pretty strong right now, and Rama, who's currently 0-1-0, but has his item build worked up on.
The nice benefit to the Darkest Knights though, he did get a couple extra assists he otherwise really wasn't participating in. That does mean he's a little bit ahead in gold, but at the same time, they have 2 Gold Furies in hand. Which does mean...
he's not as far ahead as it looks. That's the big key there. He should be further ahead than he actually is right now, Moex. Just because, like you said, the assist give Grant a little bit of gold and 2 Gold Furies. And Gold Furies are worth 300 gold each. So that's 600 gold there. But then I guess there's a tier 1 tower down in mid and a tier 1 tower down in right as well, which kind of swings it back to Jermaine.
Yeah, it's a 30 minion kill difference between those 2 AD carries, and that's why Jermaine is not nearly as far behind as we might expect him to be at this point. A little bit like that makes a huge bit of difference. That's 5 minion waves, extra minions worth of gold he has. That's a lot.
That speed buff been started up by Night's Watch. It looks like the Bronkos might try and contest this. No, they're going to be a little bit too late to the party. Spirit Ball over the wall, not going to connect there that time round. And it's back to farming once again for the most part, as most of the jungle's down. And with that tier 1 tower down being down on the side of Night's Watch, it's kind of difficult for them to go too far forward now.
Yeah, the map is open. It's a little risky. They have the wards placed down already, so they do have any vision of the jungle. The problem is their own side of the jungle is not necessarily that warded up. So there's some spots that the Broncos can potentially sneak on in. Mid lane looks like a little bit of aggression coming out. Not really going to have a lot of follow-up on that. Everyone just kind of disengaging and getting away safely. It's a bit of a lull. Nothing really to fight over. All the jungle buffs pretty much down right now. Gold Fury is down for another minute 20 seconds. Mid Harpy's up in about a minute or so. So once those spawn, there's some stuff these guys might look to fight over. They might look to just roam around, clear out some wards as well. Night's Watch right now are looking to establish vision across the entire center of the map.
They need to try to establish it, but they might be able to catch the left-hand side. Jermaine just rolled into trouble. Zindan is here. Pop sprint. Athena ult comes out. There's the Eagles rally as well. Takes to the sky to avoid damage, but look what's been popped. I'm a monster.
Rolling Assault will be available. Not going to be able to hit that before Jermaine is once again out safely. Rolled to a bad spot and then rolled straight on back out the second time around. It's one of those little tricky things. Timing the I'm a Monster for Ram to land is such a small window where Ram is actually still standing in that exact spot to land it. Nice try, just didn't work out. Zinder now looking for some aggression to reveal him in the backside of this jungle. Good wall coming out, stopping these guys from running away. Shards of Ice as well. This could be a kill on the Beluga here. Damage actually not really all that much.
No, it's not, but Morix finds a kill and Revo jumps over the wall trying to trade back onto Zinder. Gonna find it with a bleed. He will go down, but Morix gets himself a double, stacking that passive up now. Carino goes aggressive with the Sentinel, chasing for Tadalson. They're not gonna find it. Meanwhile, Jermaine is back here, but needs to watch himself.
This right now, Tedelson's going to be forced back to base. Gold Fury is spawning in just 10 seconds. Mid Harpy is going to get picked up for free, but they can immediately look to rush into this Gold Fury. Picked up their third of the game here, potentially. Nobody is really nearby. Defender Olympus is not online to deliver Tedelson into the middle of this fight. This one is likely just going to go completely uncontested now by the Broncos. There's nothing they can do about this. I mean, another 1,500 gold in the bank of the Night's Watch.
They should get tier 2 right-hand side, though, for Flexi, as NQ did use his teleport to get to that engagement. And there's not a whole lot we can see Jermaine do here. He's just going to have to back away, but NQ's not going to let him go for free. It looks like they're going to go aggressive onto him here.
Sikkim does connect for the stun. Boulder comes out as well. Jermaine's trying to do what he can to stay alive. Rolling Assault away. I'm a Monster not going to hit. Still up, still alive. Life still starting to come into play a little bit, but as the ability's coming off cooldown, second driving strike into the wall means he wasn't going anywhere. Like you said, Flexi did, however, find that tier 2 tower, kind of answered back to gold. Aside from the couple of kills going back and forth to Night's Watch, Broncos came back a little bit in that one in the end.
Yeah, they did. But at the same time, Moix stacked his passive, got himself 2 kills in that as well. So that's going to put him further ahead. Plus, Jermaine died, unfortunately for him. Jermaine played pretty well, honestly, with his use of abilities there. Remember, with Rama and that Rolling Assault, it's only got an 8-second cooldown when you max it. And so you stay in the air for 6 seconds using your Astral Barrage. So when you land, if you can time it right, you can actually roll, wait a second or two, then go up, and then land and have your Astral Barrage, sorry, your Rolling Assault available again to use immediately when you land. And that's the issue that was keeping himself safe against the Night's Watch and that I'm a Monster dunk down.
Indeed. So once again, small gold lead right now by Night's Watch. The Broncos are hanging on to this one. It's only a 2,800 gold lead right now. It's actually not the highest it's been. Those little Gold Fury spikes that keep coming up are immediately answered back by either kills or objective takes.
Carino tried a big play mid lane there with the blink and tried to engage on to Beluga, but Beluga, well aware of it, managed to get away before the Sikkim managed to connect. So otherwise he probably would have been picked there as Zindan and Wolf of Elo Street were waiting in the wings to engage. I think he's going to get a bit of free farm over in this right-hand lane here. If you notice, the big thing here is Flexi is level 20 already. He's got a really strong build. Lots of penetration online as well here with that Igval and the Titan's Bane. And the Odysseus bow just adds to the amount of damage he can put out in these team fights. Flexi is going to be an issue for the Night's Watch right now, and they have to be careful of him.
He is top damage by a good margin at this point. Admittedly, a lot of that was onto NQ, who just healed it straight back up with the Mitigate Wounds. Although, Mitigate Wounds in this fight might not be needed as they're looking for fight Flexi 1v1. NQ, though, very, very low. This is a 2v4 fight. Defender Olympus dropping down. This is not going the way Night's Watch were planning in this one. I'm a Monster connects. Flexi answers back, though, as the fight continues. Now it is in the hands of Night's Watch as they look to counter-engage here onto the Broncos, but they're going to decide to disengage instead.
They got Flexi killed, though, for NQ. NQ was already 0-4. Left-hand side, though, we can see aggression from Moix looking for Jermaine. Jermaine's up in the sky with the Astral Barrage. Doesn't find the hits just yet. All 3 miss. The poison connects from Moix. He needs 1 more auto just to land this down and confirm the kill. Using the bolus to hit off the tower to secure the kill. Moix on a killing spree, and he's going to get a tier 1 tower to answer back to that engagement in right.
Yep, as a nice little +5 physical power bonus for him, just for getting the kill with his passive. Still stacking up. So nicely done there by him. Wolf Veal Street mid lane, Blink Wall, not going to find a stun. Frostbreath will miss as well. Beluga will be safe at his tower for the time being. It's something I think a lot of people not necessarily forget about. It's like, hiding behind the tower against a Xbalanque when you're at like 100 health does not work because the branching bowlers do spread off the tower. We've seen that exact situation happen so many times here just the past couple weeks in the Challenger Cup. I'm not sure if people just don't realize it or if it's, well, I can hide the tower and hope they leave or I can't get away otherwise.
They can't get away otherwise. I mean, Jermaine was really stuck between a rock and a hard place there. He was just hoping that he could reduce the amount of damage he'd take from the bowlers, you know, because bowlers don't do the full damage of a basic auto attack. So if he could survive a little bit longer, he might have had Rolling Assault up again and been able to get away. It's a rough ask, though, and you just try and do what you can do. So it's a rough situation to be in, but he comes out on the losing end of that. The Bronkos, though, 7 at the moment in terms of kills. They're looking for the right harp. He's going to find them before Carino can get them with that second.
So mid-harpies, like I said, were just taken, and again, we're going to move to a little bit of a period where not much opportunity is going to be going on. The riskiest spot in the game right now, though, is this solo lane. The Tier 1 and Tier 2 of the Night's Watch have both been brought down, as well as a Tier 1 mid, so the map on the right-hand side is pretty much free for the Broncos to go where they want. There's only 1 ward right now by the Night's Watch on that side. Oh, there's actually 2, 3. I lied. A couple.
I mean, this game at the moment is very important to both these teams, guys. They're currently tied for 3rd position. Whoever wins this game will take 3rd position at the moment, going into the final week of the Challenger Cup. Aces Club have already been eliminated, which will guarantee this team will take 3rd position, whoever wins this one. Night's Watch at the moment have the advantage. They have the opportunity to take this game, but the Broncos are not out of it yet. They're holding strong for now, but we're getting towards the mid-late stages of the game here as people are starting to reach level 20, and it's going to be a bit difficult for Broncos with the position of their carries and the position they're in right now with Rama being 0, 3, and 0. He's not got any crit online just yet. Moex has begun it already.
Yeah, the Broncos as well, going back to the Night's Watch. The Night's Watch have a very, very scary late game team comp. Xbalanque is scary. Once the passive gets built up, it's a free, always active steroid. Plus, he's doing AoE damage as long as he has the branching bolas active. They don't stop him, it's going to be a problem. We already saw the setup coming out. You know, an unexpected Darkest of Night setup into an I'm a Monster from Scylla, just causing trouble. She got a double kill off the I'm a Monster earlier at the Gold Fury fight. NQ on Hercules is going to be pretty much unkillable. There's no weakening curse online to heavily shut that down. There's no anti-healing on the board right now, period, on the side of the Broncos. So Hercules is going to be an issue. And then Bellona, let's face it, she's Bellona. She can be rough to kill. That disarm means Bakasura and his minions aren't going to be doing much damage. When she switches to shield stance, she's going to be blocking auto attacks all day long. The Eagles Rally going to be offering a lot of physical protection against Flexi, Rivel, and Jermaine as well. So Night's Watch, as the game does continue, like you said, level 20 starts getting reached. The team fights for Night's Watch, if they play them well, are going to be really hard to deal with for the Broncos.
Well, the Gold Fury dance has begun here. It looks like Night's Watch want to try and pull this one. They can see Revel on the right-hand side, was just clearing out a wave there. They have an idea where he is. NQ's over here as well, has teleport available in case he needs to relocate. They're looking for Jermaine here. Still continuing aggression. Earthbreaker's going to connect. The beads was a little bit too late to the party after the Earthbreaker was, sorry, the Drive Strike was already used. But Moex going aggressive in the mid lane.
They go up Beluga. Circle protection will provide a little bit of a heal. Beluga very, very low though. 1 or 2 more hits will secure it. Moex picks that kill up. He's going to Rising Jaguar back away from those kitty cats from Bastet. That is one pick they needed. Jermaine still back at base. He'll return to the fight, full health, full mana. But they're going to look to push this mid tower down. Or actually, no.
It's not a no moment. I mean, they did just delete Beluga, which means the circle protection's not down. It's risky though, but they probably want to bait this in for more kills. Yeah. They have to bait this in for more kills. Zindan on zoning duty. They're looking for Revel here, but on the backside you can see Tattleson's waiting. Tattleson has been surrounded now by his positioning.
His lockdown coming in. Frost Breath was saved. That's going to be a Shard's Vice charge as well. Tattleson has no preemptive strike to get out. I'm a Monster did not hit. That means Tattleson will survive that engagement. Sentinel over the wall. Sycamore will miss as well. Carino now in a bad spot. Flexi looking to secure this kill, but he is getting closed in on, surrounded, and will go down. They're looking also for Tettleson right now. He's still alive in the backside of this fight. Finally, Hercules finds it. Moex gets Bastet as well. Jermaine, the only one left standing right now in the middle of this fight. Gold Fury has been started. He admittedly does really not have much steal potential. And assuming that, well, I'm assuming Moex doesn't pull a Moex, they're probably not going to get to a point where Jermaine can actually kill them.
Nope, not going to be able to do that. So Night's Watch play that very well. They went to the Fire Giant to bait them in more than anything else. They could have done it if they didn't come, and if they did, but now Jermaine gets caught in mid lane again. He could be in trouble.
He's chilling up in the air, holding that last shot, waiting as much time as he possibly can. Spirit Bolt could buy him time. Scourge plus an attack from MoX will secure the kill nevertheless. As now, only Beluga stands between them and this tier 1 mid tower. Spirit Ball not going to be able to take the whole wave. Minions down, they're going to drop quick. MoX actually going aggressive, looking to kill Beluga, looking to force us out. The attacks coming out right now are hitting Beluga for about a fifth of his health every single shot, so MoX is already a bit of a monster without Rage or Deathbringer online. Just those kind of basic core items for the Hunter. He's only going to get just that much more powerful once he starts building those big items.
Well, tier 2 tower does go down in the mid lane. Immediately, Nightwatch swing around to the left-hand side. Gonna find a red buff for their troubles going this way. Purple is available too, which they will start to drop down. And then they're going to look for the Gold Fury as well, just to continue extending this gold and experience lead they have off the back of that Fire Giant engagement.
Yep, and with that right now, MoX is sitting on a completed Rage and possibly another short sword worth of money, so he is going to be having a nice power spike on this next back to base. The entire team is going to be spending a whole chunk of gold. The lowest golden hit is 1,200, everyone else was 2,000 plus. So that's a whole lot of big items going straight for the Deathbringer as well. Not the optimal number as far as overall time DPS is concerned, but those big crits numbers coming out are just going to absolutely hurt whoever's getting hit by them.
Indeed. Now they're going to return to the base though, spend up all that gold that they just used and start clearing out their own jungle before they engage. They may look for right here. I'm interested where they're going to choose to go. Probably just bring down these towers once again. Dealing this last tier 1 on the right hand side and look for the tier 2 and look for one more fight with this Fire Giant. They've got plenty of time to abuse it though.
They do, and right now the Bronkos, I think we're expecting that left-hand push. They're over on the right side of the jungle right now though. Not the most expected strategy, but you know, free towers are free towers. Clear the tower, right tower, clear the right tier 2, go to the left tier 2, and then look for the left Phoenix. The towers are basically gold pinatas at this point. Why not kill them?
Well, this gives Jermaine a chance to free farm a bit and catch up in terms of getting this more crit online. They're going to get a tier 2. Jermaine will answer back with a tier 1 and continue pushing here. Looks like in mid lane, Reaver's going to try and push onto a tier 2 in mid at the same time. But this means Night's Watch want to try and go for a Phoenix, and now you can see them both backing from the Bronkos. We're going to get a fight here.
Yep, Phoenix just evaporated on the right side of this map. They could potentially look for a second one as well. The Broncos still kind of regrouping. Couple guys still back base. Overload. Tellson burst very low. Will get secured with the Shards of Ice from from Ymir as Quinny finds one. A second one went to MoX in this fight. That is already 3 members of the Broncos down. Night's Watch right now going into the base. Minions are present, and this looks like it could already be the game. The Titan health is dropping. Circle protection is down, but it looks like Night's Watch might be about to close this game out.
Yeah, they're just taking it backwards and forwards right now. The minions are doing no work because there's none there. Night's Watch take 3rd position, guaranteed this week right now in the Challengers Cup. They've got 1 more week to go, but they've got a really tough opposition next in Epsilon. If they can beat Epsilon, this really gives them a solid 3rd place position to work with, but it's going to be difficult as it's Epsilon, formerly known as Pantera.
Indeed. So with that said, big upset for one of these teams, big victory for one of these teams as well. Both of them, like you said, needed those seeding points. It's going to be rough. There's still a week of play left, so it's still anybody's game. It is only Epsilon Esports, formerly known as Panthera, who are locked in and secured in that 1st place spot for EU. Everything else is still up for grabs for whoever can possibly take it. This game, you know, the Broncos put up a real good fight, but the Night's Watch were kind of finding those big plays. They're winning those Gold Fury fights. They made that good bait attempt at the Fire Giant that paid off for them as well. They played that game really nicely.
They did indeed. Nice watch move on. And now we'll be right back after this short break with the next round matchup. It'll probably be, we'll see what it'll be shortly, guys. We'll be back shortly.